let's do a comparison of the two of the top Cube cameras out there. I can't think offhand of another. I'm sure there's one other out there, and the people on this will be sure to tell me all about it. This is a Polaroid Cube Plus, and this is a GoPro Hero 4 Sessions. Now, this is the Polaroid Cube Plus, so the name is correct. It's Polaroid. It's not the original company that those of us of a certain age grew up with. That one went away, but somehow along the line, it was either recreated or the name was bought and it was assigned to this new company. And it's pretty smart. You get a company that has some tradition already, and you keep creating, or you create the next generation of equipment and just use that name, and it automatically gives you a sense of validity. So I didn't buy this because it had the Polaroid name on there, because I'd done my research ahead of time. But it's not a bad little camera. These cameras are very similar. They're both 8 megapixel sensors, so you know, very, very similar. In fact, the Polaroid max video resolution is 2560 by 1440, so that is a little bit better than the 1920 by 1440 that's available in the GoPro. Video format's H.264 if that's important to you. And it does have image stabilization in the Polaroid. Now, I've heard some issues about the Polaroid video stabilization, that it's pretty good in things like road conditions, because it's sort of a steady or constant type of video stabilizations, but more sudden movements, the video doesn't stabilize. I'm just giving you the review on that. I have no background on that, so I'm not accusing that of having that issue, but I guess you need to know it if you're going to purchase it. The Polaroid is supposed to support 128 gigabit memory cards. The 64 gigabit for the GoPro, and doesn't necessarily hold, because I know I have used larger than suggested memory cards in cameras before with no problem. But you know, you buy your cards, you take your chances. They're both wide angle, both autofocus, and they both have the condition of remote live view. They both are Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi in Hero is just a pain in the butt to set up. Once you get familiar with it, it's okay, but learning it is a pain. Polaroid uses the general way of doing it. You get the Polaroid app from the Play Store, the Apple's version of it, or whatever. I use an Android, and you put it on your machine. When you bring your machine up and you activate with this little button here, and you activate your wireless function, it then creates another name out there, another point of connection. You collect on the Polaroid. It's called Cube, etc. As your particular Wi-Fi connection. Once you do that, then from that app you will be able to configure this little camera. GoPro has different security things, different passwords. You have to do resets, etc. So it is a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's GoPro, so you have some sense of reliability built into it as well. I'm going to attach a little snippet of video of this camera. From a little bit I've seen, it appears to have a comparable, if not slightly better picture than the GoPro. The GoPro is a very basic one. They're not overproducing the features in this, because there are steps up on that. There's the Hero 4 silvers and blacks, etc. that are a step up from the Sessions, and they don't want to crowd their low end with features and not have the ability to sell their high end. So that's something you've got to be aware of. Now, another thing, this one is 100% mount compatible, because if you see this, you see me bore a little hole. This is another one here. You saw me bore a little hole in there. That is a compatible Hero mount. That's a protective case. They also have a frame case that I have on order. It just puts a slight plastic shell around this little body, And underneath here, I forgot to mention, it does have a magnet. So you can attach this to something metallic. I don't really have a post anything right here, but you can attach it to a metallic point of connection and you can record, you know, like a metal pole or something. So it's a pretty good little camera. Now let me give you a gotcha here. I went out to take pictures with this Polaroid camera and I ran into some issues. It works like the original GoPro and not the session. When the session turns on, it begins to record. Boom, it just begins to record video. This one, when you switch it on, which is basically a push at the top here, and then you hold it, you get a green light. To do video, to take a photograph, you do one punch and it takes a photograph. Now to do video, you have to get the rhythm and do 2 consecutive punches and it should flash red and begin video. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it real well because it's a very small light, and that's another gotcha here. Okay, it's flashing red and now it's recording video. Now I hold it down and I can switch it off, all the way off. Alright, so that's pretty cool. Now of course by default it just goes on the Hero 4 sessions. Oh, there we go. Now it's recording. And I'll hold it and I'll switch it off. So, you know, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to have to hit that on and then hit the 2 consecutive punches to go video. I would rather switch on and go straight to video. So that, in my opinion, is a plus for the sessions. So, you know, of course you want to take a photo, you know, turn it on, get it on, boom, 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 one punch and you've got it. So that could be a plus if you're really looking to do photos with a Cube camera, which I really don't know why you'd want to do that, but that's an alternative. And the final gotcha is when I did this, it creates an MP4 file that of course you can connect. In the back here there's a door. You can pop it open and you put in your micro USB. And that's also the position of your SD-RAM card up here. You can pop that in, but it's an MP4. And on my laptops, I'm not using Apple. I'm using regular old laptops. The codec would not give you audio. I had to go into. I went to Movavi. I have a converter that will convert it from MP4 to MOV. I had to do that before I could get it to work. I don't know of a way to overcome that yet. I'll be looking at it, but you know, it's sort of a pain in the butt. Anyway, I just want to give you an idea. I give this thing very good quality, which you can take a look at, but functionality and the fact, and the big plus was this created a format file that I did not have to reformat before I tried to edit it. In any case, that's all I want to show you, and we'll get back out in the field and take a few photos, take a little video in the near future.